Timberwolves are gonna win the world championship.
Edwards. Edwards! They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, it's on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, baby.
Welcome to Wolves After Dark, everyone. You're going to have to bear with me. First off, the Timberwolves lose 119 to 115 as a comeback win for the Pelicans. Disgusting loss. But I am also sick. I'm on the mend. My throat may not last. If you remember from last year, I actually ended a stream crying in my bedroom because I was coughing and tears were welling up in my eyes. I am hoping that's not how this ends, so this is probably going to be a short one. However, if we get to 50 likes, we'll do a hoodie giveaway. I think the new rule is if we lose, 50 likes is a hoodie giveaway. If we win, 75 likes is a hoodie giveaway. But anyways, and as always, Wolves After Dark is brought to you by 4th Generation Flooring. Ooh, okay. I'm going to try to talk quietly, have the mic nice and close to me. Sorry I was late. Also, the mic kept going off and I couldn't figure it out. So hopefully everything sounds okay. I'm not seeing any massive comments here, but about the sound anyways. But also we got to react to the Io DeSumo trade, which I guess is the Rob Dillingham trade, which is the everybody involved trade. We'll get to that if we can. The lack of a Giannis trade, the trading of Mike Conley and the reacquiring eventually of Mike Conley, and all of that. We got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time, but we're going to start with the game. It was a rough one. I would say expected. Now, I will also say, I don't, this isn't a promotion, although I do have a referral link in the bio if you're interested. You know, whenever the Timberwolves play a bad team, you know what that means? That means that the odds to the casino and Vegas are very much in our favor. But we all know that that is not the case. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw $20 down on the Pelicans to come back from this 18-point win, which they did. Which then I cashed out in the fourth quarter because I was like, you know what? Whatever. So if you want to join in that, I do have some links down in the bio. I do not necessarily endorse, I endorse or not endorse these companies, but it is there if you'd like. Anyways, enough ads. The game. Timberwolves played in the beginning. It was okay. The Pelicans are a much better team than their record. I mean, they were 13-40 or something like that coming to the game. That's pretty bad. But they have a really good team. I mean, you look at their starting lineup, and at least as a Timberwolves fan, I see Sadiq Bey, Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson, and I see Queen as a problem, and I even see Fears, who didn't go off tonight. But I mean, they had 3 players that almost had 30 points tonight. And I wouldn't classify any of us here as super shocked that any of those players did that. But a little less than them just going off. I mean, our defense was not good as a whole, but individuals as well. I mean, I know I've seen a lot of the comments already that Randall had a bad defensive game, and I understand he did. Bad body language, bad everything. But, you know, Ant is part of that too. Rudy at times too. I mean, Rudy's always good, but there's just hustle plays. And the Pelicans always just want to beat us more. It's just how it is. It's crazy. But let's get to some comments, which have been flying by. I couldn't believe it when I logged in how many comments there were. Oh my gosh, we already got 50 people watching too. This is nuts. Also, we're not streaming on Twitter anymore. I think that is not a good idea. So I've avoided that. But Alex Rush said this before the game. I'm just here so I don't get fined. And that's exactly what I'm saying right now. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I don't want you guys to be mad at me for not streaming. However, it's turning now, as you guys know in the Discord. Every time I stream, we lose. Every time I don't stream, we win. So good news. We can keep the old tier. Oh, man. Can't beat bad teams. It's true. You know, I'm not trying to dismiss this and, you know, because this is a problem. I think this is a Finch problem. I think this is stemming from Finch, a motivation issue for this team. I understand that this is like tougher to get up against these teams. You look at you look at their record, you say, oh, 13-40, we can sleepwalk and probably win. We have sleptwalk and won a lot of times this season already. But we've also lost some of these games. And it's the struggle that I have as a Timberwolves fan. It's the struggle that I imagine good teams maybe have just had throughout their years is like, I don't think this is uniquely a Timberwolves issue. I think this is a good team issue. Maybe a little bit more Timberwolves related, but I can understand yeah, that good teams. When you're a good team, players like Jim Pete was mentioning in the broadcast, Timberwolves are a team to beat now. So teams come in here like trying to prove themselves against the Timberwolves. Not that we're the 1 seed, we're not even the top 6 or whatever, but they come in here to prove something. And we aren't ready for that, especially against these lower level teams. But the Pelicans have a legit team. Excited to see their future, but I feel like I've been saying that for a while now. Zion's a beast. I want Zion on our team. I feel like he would be a great Julius Randle replacement. That's not happening though. But yeah, Timberwolves just kind of a lackluster game. Again, no bench. Bones had 20, but Naz Reid only had 7. Dante's not on the bench, but he only had 6. Clark had some rebounds, but we're celebrating rebounds now for him. That's not very good. Jaden was technically a starter, fouled out 2 times this game. Had 12 fouls, 6 points. Johnny Juzang had 3 points, but they were like the loudest 10 minutes you've ever heard from Johnny Juzang. And then Yohan Beringer got his patented 5 minutes, which honestly isn't even patented because he's been taken out of games now. So I don't know. It's very frustrating. But as I was saying, and I kind of interrupted myself here, it's just impossible to gauge these games. Would I rather beat the good teams or the bad teams? The good teams, but it feels bad to lose against the bad teams because it feels like it's showing a mental weakness that you and your coach and your team have, and something to worry about for the playoffs. Not that you play bad teams, but the things that go on in these bad games are the things that it's like, man, if this happens in the playoffs, that's bad. That's really bad. But Finch got to put players in a better chance to succeed. McDaniel was on Zion. Yeah, that was crazy. Zion literally speared him to the ground that one time. Oh, that was pretty bad. Finch needs to be on the hot seat. So T. Kubler, longtime WAD squad member, I appreciate you. I think the coach should always be on a hot seat. I have a way too long of an answer for somebody that's semi-sick right now. If I shorten that answer up, I do think that especially this year, there have been some pretty glaring issues. The Mike Conley minutes is a huge red flag, but I think that's a little bit more of a red flag for the team construction and Tim Connolly than it is for Finch, because Bones has been inconsistent until late. Dillingham was unusable for most of the season. Clark has kind of fallen off. He's a guard, I guess, but realistically, he had to play Mike at times. But we also had some of our worst moments with Mike in the game. So, and he praised them as if they weren't. The motivation, I think, is a big one. The body language during these times. We've seen Finch, he's angry out there, but I don't know. I struggle to see what he's supposed to do differently in these moments. And as somebody that's taken the team to 2 Western Conference Finals in a row, sure, that's a cop out, I guess, but that's a real thing that he's done. So I really am not so much Fire Finch now, but it is the coach always needs to have some fire. That's why coaching is a tough job, because you need to be under pressure. That's why coaches have their hair turned gray immediately. It's just, it's bad. Randall messing up the rhythm again, playing poor defense. It bothers me. He didn't get traded. I just don't know what you're trading him for, because you're going to have to give up another asset. I'm not saying that he's a negative asset necessarily, but he's certainly not this assets that's going to go out and yield you some amazing result. The only move that I could have seen them do that I don't know that it it was even an option or anything like that. But you could have gone out to Boston, or not Boston. What am I saying? The Mavs, and you could have been like, "Hey, Dallas, we're going to give you Julius plus Mike's contract or somebody else, and then maybe a pick to get Kyrie, who is still hurt, and we don't know when he's coming back." But that's the only thing that I think would have made sense. But then you're giving up the next like potential month or two of like maybe longer of like, hey, we don't have a real point guard at all. So I don't know. It's a tough one, but maybe more Juzang minutes could have been the difference. At first, I was like, holy cow, this kid's incredible this game. Because he's played before and it has not been this good. But he came back in later and it was not nearly as good. It's crazy because he shot really well, I think, in Summer League, or was it G League? I don't remember. But he shot really well at one point in the season, not on the Timberwolves. So it seems like that's not the case. I know he hit a 3 tonight, but I don't know. Yeah. Ant played poor defense. Ant just defensively did not look. He had like 1 or 2 possessions tonight where he was locked in, but it was like not good. But I don't know. Noah, welcome back. Another original WOD squatter. Insert athletic power forward is a Wolves killer. Yeah. I mean, Zion is a unique one because he really is so powerful. And when he's on, they're like, I don't know what you do. We were trying to stop him. We were bracketing like 3 or 4 people trying to get him to stop driving, and he was driving through them and drawing fouls. He's incredible. He's actually pretty amazing. So Julius Randle is the worst defender I've seen. Bad body language even after the trade deadline. No spacing, no ball movement. Yeah, all the pieces that we tried to move did not look good. Randle offensively got us some important buckets and honestly, he did have some good rebounds. He had some massive rebounds where if we won the game, I was going to give him a lot of credit. This wasn't like the worst Julius Randle game offensively, but obviously that defense was not good. And I do attribute 50% of it to bad defense and bad effort and bad body language. But the other 50% is that like Sadiq Bey and Zion are very strong individuals. This isn't like they're big body people. And so is Julius. He's known as the bully because he's more physical, but I don't know. He's also never been known as a defender. So let's see. Yeah, Gobert was not a factor. It's pretty crazy. Okay, let's catch up here. I'm way behind. Julius is always everyone's scapegoat. I do think there is some truth to that. But I do think that the things that they are complaining about are always accurate. But I'm sort of with you there, which is why I don't try to go too crazy on Julius all the time. I mean, there are games where it's a problem. If he doesn't have anything offensively and nothing defensively, then it's kind of like, why are you here? You know, what is going on? But this isn't an excuse. This is just me trying to guess why the team is playing like this tonight. And realistically, the Toronto game was not, I mean, we had a great fourth quarter, but that was a pretty awful game. I just think the players, even I think Finch said this, or somebody in the team said this recently. They're like, I think we're just looking forward to the All-Star break. And it's like, yikes. That's crazy. We trash. We always play down to the competition. Indeed. Why didn't the coach tell the guys, since they aren't smart enough to sag off of Zion at any point in the game? These are supposed to be the best minds and players in basketball world. I think it comes down to effort. I really do think this is more of an effort thing than a skill or anything like that. So, yeah, I don't know. Pretty crazy. Oh, let's see. Somebody had a good take. Creative, insightful. Oh yeah, your name broke me last stream. Julius is a half-court basketball or back down king, but the new NBA 3-and-D transition. This isn't Barkley's NBA. Yeah, he's also the one that always gets caught with like long transition, those like Kevin Love type passes. Like he's just never ready for it. Which shout out to Anthony Edwards, by the way. he's been, I know he was beat a couple times tonight too, but he's been more ready for those. Julius is just never ready for those. It's pretty crazy. My wife made me change my name. Julius's lack of effort on defense creeps into the entire team. It's insidious. He is the reason, along with Finch continuing to play him just like he did Conley, that this team does this. I agree with part of what you're saying, but it's the same thing with like point guard and Mike. It's like, who else are we playing? I mean, we could play Nas, and I like Nas, but Nas tonight only had 7 points in 25 minutes. And defensively, he's equal. Like, he might get a couple more blocked shots and like some of those like stocks, steals, and blocks or whatever. But he's not like he's getting beaten a lot of the same ways that Randall is getting beat. Maybe that's like a fine. And I think for team construction wise going forward, like, yeah, I think I think it's pretty obvious that we're comfortable parting with Julius, but as of right now, you have him, and I think you have to play him because he can find people. I mean, he had like 7 assists tonight, so he's still doing something, but I don't know. Ant seems to kick it into a different gear in the second half. Yep, he does. And the fourth quarter, he did. He missed a couple shots late, and that one step back or fade away against Eve Misi or whoever it was. That was bad, but rough game. Well, it was a few people. I mean, Randall was on him at times. Ant was on him at times. I don't know, but it didn't matter. These Pelicans were just motivated and stronger than us tonight. So Wolves will be fine. Luckily, there is still enough time to get back up in the standings. They will be fine. I agree with this take. And this is a frustrating game. And we all deserve to be mad about the things that we were mad about. But I think long term we are okay. Because we do play up to our composition and we play down to our composition. Renz, I've seen you on Twitter. Thank you for liking all my tweets. I appreciate it. Tim effed up not trading Julius Randle for a better second or third option. The thing is that I just don't know what second and third options are out there. Also, any second or third option that's coming in, I mean, Julius Randle's like our most used player. There's a learning curve there, and that means that you're going to be losing even more games this season, along with the Rudy learning curve that apparently takes 2 years for everybody to understand. There's a lot. So anyways, why would we trade Julius? Well, one, because I think he's getting a little older. I mean, he's not old. Rudy's also old. But I think that there are potentially just options that I think you can live with Nas as your starter if you get a quality point guard. Because I'm not viewing Ayo Dosunmu as our future point guard necessarily. I mean, if he is, that either means something amazing happened or something terrible happened. But I would much rather it be a stronger option than that. So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it'll be LaMelo Ball. Okay, we're yapping way too much. We got to get to that tier list because we're talking about players anyways, so we might as well do it. And we have to delete some players from the tier list and use some players that we've never used. But as always, the tier list is brought to you by 4th Generation Flooring, and we are going to hear from them and me right now. This episode of Wolves After Dark and this tier list are brought to you by 4th Generation Flooring, a local family-run business and a Wolves After Dark member with 4 generations of experience in carpet and vinyl flooring, 1 skilled crew, careful furniture moving, and competitive pricing on quality stocked products, plus access to a huge special order showroom. 4th Generation Flooring, quality work done right. All right. Thank you, 4th Generation Flooring. That was perfect. I got to cough in the background, and I got to put in a Ricola. Or whatever the heck they're called. Okay. Tier list time. And if you haven't already, like the stream. 50 likes. We're doing a hoodie giveaway. I ordered samples of some hats So we're going to see what those hats look like in person. You guys can make your own determination because I'm obviously a big hat wearer. I will wear some of our hats. I will wear some of the Timberwolves hats. I will wear everything. I'm trying to wear different hats all the time. But 50 likes, hoodie giveaway. So let's get to liking. Also, I forgot to mention right at the top, we have ticket giveaway for Sunday afternoon's game against the Clippers. So if you are interested in seeing that Clippers game, we've got tickets brought to you by 4th Generation Flooring. So make sure you go to the Discord and check that out. Okay. Also follow us on TikTok. Also, all the links in the chat, whatever I'm trying to say. Okay. Let me get to the stats. Who are we doing first? Let's start with Jalen Clark. No, let's start with Yohan Beringer. Like I said, 5 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds. I didn't hate it. Honestly, I didn't hate it. I honestly might go nice. I want to see more of him. I don't know that Finch will allow it, but I don't know why I'm making so much room for people in nice. I don't know that we're going to have that many. But I think he was okay. I didn't have any problem with him tonight. And you guys are lively in chat tonight. Are they local in Minnesota? Yes. If you're talking about 4th Generation Flooring, yes, they are. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to that Instagram or email that was on there, or reach out to me. They're also in the Discord too. So let me know. But why do you want to trade your second best player? Canberry, is that you on a burner? But nice is crazy. I don't know. I didn't think he was that bad. I just have fun. I have fun when he's out there. And he got the end one. He did miss a free throw, I guess, but I thought he was okay for 5 minutes worth. But this was not the game for him. You can't have a skinny, lanky guy like that going up against like 200 pounds of muscle on every single player other than Trey Murphy. He was fine. Anyways, I almost broke my rule of talking about him longer than he played. Johnny Juzang, potentially the last time we ever mention him once Ayo Dosunmu gets up here. I don't know that he's going to be playing at all. This is going to be a great grade. He had 10 minutes. He had 3 points and a rebound and a pretty sick block that I was certain was a foul in real time, but was not. He was only 1 of 2. I mean, it was an exciting 10 minutes. It was pretty good. But exactly. See, this is kind of the reason. Maybe this is unfair, but we make up the rules here, and also none of this matters. So, nice. I was positive. I thought he had like literally hugged him, which he kind of did, but it was like not enough contact to really warrant a foul. And it was a clean at the top too, which I also did not expect. But hey, might be his only block of the season. Based on expectations, this is why I'm like, I think I'm higher than nice. Because, I mean, I don't know that we can go cash. Maybe we put him in Clark County. His defense is not good. He is not a good defensive player, and he got beat on one badly that I think made Finch take him out of the game. It was like his second stint where he came in the third quarter, was it? I don't remember. Yeah, third quarter. He played 4 minutes in the second quarter and was a +9. He played 5 minutes in the third quarter and was a -6. Not good. Maybe Clark is too high. Clark might be too high. I think I'm going to go. We'll go nice. Fine. We'll go nice. Maybe that's right. I shouldn't be giving out higher grades than that. I don't know. Anyways. Next up, now we'll do Jalen Clark. Jalen Clark, he played 14 minutes, 0 points, 5 rebounds. He was 0-2, 2 fouls. Again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I mean, they were good rebounds. They were consequential rebounds, impact rebounds. But this is what we're celebrating now. We're celebrating somebody who basically is just out there being a little feisty. Ayo Dosunmu cannot start playing fast enough. I don't know. I'm not going to see an extension after seeing this nonsense. I don't know. There might be I know some of you guys have said, yeah, love Fadina. You said this L sucks because the new additions thinking this is a rock solid team and they see that we don't care about anything. I think there's, you could be right. I think it's 50-50. It's either that or they're going to look at it and be like, you know what? Actually, this is a team that needs me and I could flourish and show value. But they could also view it and be like, oh yeah, I'm in Minnesota. It's cold. They don't care here. We're good. We can just chill for the rest of the year. It's one of those two outcomes. I really hope it's not that last one. But anyways, low expectations. Okay, who's up next? Oh yeah, we were doing Jalen Clark. Honestly, I'm gonna give him a meh. This is where we need to add another tier. I'm gonna take old out and put it to the side again. I know I've said that multiple streams in a row here, but I just got sick over the last week now, so I haven't been able to. It's gonna happen, but for now he's meh. We lightly care about you. I mean, we do care about you, but also his body language tonight and coming in like just like on the bench and stuff like that, he does not look happy. And I think it's because he understands that Io is going to take a lot of his minutes. Because it's going to be Io. Bones has been playing really well. Nas obviously is not going anywhere. So not saying he won't get any minutes, but like there's not going to be, I don't think there's going to be a ton of opportunity for him. Finch said in the press conference today that there was a chance, not a chance. He said basically players will still have a role like TJ, Clark, and everybody, but it's just going to be so much less, especially when we get to the playoffs. But we'll see. He's just got to stay ready and improve some skills, you know? Okay. Last two bench players. We've got Bones. Bones had 20 points in 30 minutes. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 6 of 11, 4 of 8 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line. Had a ton of energy. You know, he's not the best defensive player, although he had some good defensive moments tonight. Some individual plays that were good. As a whole, I don't know. It was okay, but I do. Side note, I agree with this. Io will not start. It'll be Dante. As Britt. Okay, so I actually watched the Dane Moore show the other day, or whatever it's called, Dane Moore podcast with Britt, and Britt kind of brought up at the very end about a time that he talked to Dante, and he's like, "Hey, it wasn't even like any meaning like of anything," but Britt Robson was like, "Hey, like, you know, the team has changed up some lineups from time to time. Like, what would you say if you were like, what would be your willingness essentially to like go to the bench?" And he like shut down the interview and like walked away. He is not, for some reason, it is the biggest deal in the world to him. I get it. It's like a money thing, but he wants to be the starter, but he's not a real point guard. But it's not going to be Io. Eric with the 5 gifted. I appreciate you, Eric. That's amazing. Io will see 15 minutes. He will see 15 minutes. I know everybody's making jokes about Mike Conley coming back and taking all of Io's minutes. I won't say that it won't happen immediately because I think Io's still learning the team. Mike, even though he was traded twice since yesterday, still knows the team. So I expect that Mike will still get maybe some minutes here, but Io's going to get minutes. I think he will get a decent amount of minutes. So easy cash. That's where I was going, though. Thank you for getting me back on track. It's cash. I mean, he brought the energy. He brought the scoring off the bench. It's what we need. We need more scoring off the bench. Impact moments, too. It wasn't even just like there was that time at the end of the third where they brought it to within 4, and then Bones just like unconscious just takes a long 3 and rips the net back. So that was like, that was a satisfying moment. But that was good. No way Conley plays more than 5 minutes a game. I think initially he might, but I do think that is the goal. I think he will not be playing that much. Maybe in certain matchups where a guard is like super truly needed, but I still think it'll be Io. I think, look at the pictures of Chris Finch talking to Io today. He was pretty excited. This could be true. If Mike plays more than Io, I'm all in. Yeah, I will say this. Because, like, yeah, for the next couple weeks, if Mike plays more than Io, I mean, that's pretty bad, but like I could see it for a game or 2 or 3. But if for the rest of the season Mike plays more minutes than I am officially joining Team Firefinch. Like that's unacceptable. Um, yeah, you won't see me in chat again. You won't see me streaming again. Um, but anyways, um, back to the tier list. Let's do Nas, the last bench player tonight. Nas did not have a great night tonight. 25 minutes, he had 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. As I mentioned, he always gets his steals and blocks. He had 2 steals and 1 block. He was 3 and 9. The shot just really wasn't there. His finishing around the rim just wasn't really there. Only had 1 foul. That's good. Had 2 turnovers. It was just really a midnight for him. I'm gonna go meh. Because it wasn't like ridiculously awful, but it was not worthy of nice. This was not a good game. Um, um, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Now to the starters. Yes, to the starters. Okay, we're gonna start with Dante. He only played 26 minutes, and 2 of your starters played 26 minutes or less. Not for good reasons. Dante, he had 26 minutes. He had 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 2 of 10, did not make his 4 shots tonight. Had 2 turnovers, 2 fouls. It was just not a Dante game. The shot wasn't falling. The effectiveness wasn't there. And kudos to Finch for realizing that. I'm not trying to defend Finch, but I do feel like it's important that we point out when he's making semi-right decisions. But yeah, Dante just didn't have it tonight. Unfortunately, I feel like so much of our season and so much of our playoffs is going to depend on how many bench players. I always talk about him as a bench player. He is not, but like who starts the game doesn't really matter that much because it's who ends the game and who plays the most minutes. You know, we need contributions. Like if outside of your main guys, you need Dante, Reed, Bones, and now Io. You are basically going to need like 2 of those guys to go off any day to have a chance to win, unless your defense is just going to be godly. And honestly, if we looked at those numbers, I bet that would pan out. Like I bet that's how it works. But it's just tough. But this was a bad game. I mean, this was. Again, we need a new tier because this. I don't know that I would classify this as meh. Maybe it is meh. I mean, it's kind of just a forgettable game. Because honestly, the expected, not really, unnoticed is a little bit more accurate. I think expected needs to be meh, and then we'll have another tier underneath it that's like, well, unnoticed is different because Dante should not really be going unnoticed if he's in the starting lineup and playing 26 minutes. But so that is kind of a negative. But I think it's a meh. Next up. Now we're going to do Jaden. Jaden played 22 minutes. He had 6 points, 2 assists, 18 personal fouls. 18. You heard that right. That's just the first quarter. He was 2 of 8, 0 of 3 from 3. Yuck. This was a really bad game. I honestly don't know that I could put him in meh. This was like bad. Now part of this is a matchup thing because like I said, this is, he is a taller, skinnier, lankier player. And we're going up against people that are very strong. And like I said earlier, Zion Williamson literally speared him. And then he got called for the foul. Jaden did. Now, I still think that was a foul, but like, I mean, Jaden was just getting overpowered at every time and then also making really dumb fouls when he didn't need to. I agree, Jake Erickson. Poop stinky tier. If that was here tonight, maybe that's the new. Although I will say, if I put that out there, that's not very advertising friendly. I think our friends at 4th Generation Flooring wouldn't mind, but any potential future sponsors might care. That's pretty bad. He was on the bench. He was on the bench. They had a couple shots of him and Julian sitting next to each other. Really dumb fouls. Jaden terrible. I totally agree. Yeah, I give the little sticky note up there. It's pretty nice. Really bad choice making. Also, there was that play late in the game where he took a three, missed it, got his own rebound, and just immediately chucked back up a two, like a fadeaway two. I know Ant is instilling confidence in the Jaden, and he wants him taking shots like that from time to time. That was a little rough. Like, that's not what we want. I don't know. Jaden has been better offensively this year. He has. He's been more consistent than he has been previously. However, I'm just very impatient, and I want this to progress faster. I want him to become a bona fide offensive option for us. It would just unlock so much if Jaden. I mean, it has. Look at the playoff series last year. And look at the playoffs a lot of the time. Jaden, I mean, not a lot of the time, but in the playoffs, Jaden has made some of these plays where it's like he's scoring 20, 25, 28 points in the playoffs. And when he does that, it's game over. Because if they have to start not doubling, but like really putting pressure on Jaden or doubling, that opens it up for everyone else. I mean, you could make that argument about anybody, but especially Jaden. But when his defense isn't impactful because he's fouling, by the way, he did not actually have 18 fouls, of course. He had 5. But if he would have played 40 minutes, he was on pace for 10 plus. But yeah, just not good. Stinky doo-doo. We could do that. Stinky doo-doo. We're going to have to workshop it. Can we have a heartbreak for Valentine's Day? We could. I saw somebody post a picture on Twitter the other day of them watching a Timberwolves game in their tub or something like that. And I was like, oh man, this is what the stream wants me to do, the hot tub stream, and this is what it's gonna look like someday. Oh man. I thought about making a comment on it, but no. Howlin' Skull Soul Brother. I like it. They don't run plays or anything for Jaden. He should be the number 2, not Randall. Yeah, they need Jaden to be a little bit more effective. And I don't even know that. I mean, yes, you could run some plays for him. I just want him to be. I'm trying not to be greedy when I say this, but like I'm not saying a lights out shooter from 3, but I just want him to be a very high percentage 3-point shooter, or like he's just like a master from the corners or something like that. I don't know. Because like right now it's kind of split between him and Julius's threes is just I don't even know what they were tonight, but just in general they have not been fantastic. A lot, yeah, he was 0-5 tonight. Yeesh. Okay. Not trying to bag on Randall, but honestly can't be your second most important player on a championship team. Well, if he's your second most important player on a championship team, then you've got a lot of great pieces around. But that's the thing. You're not going to have the whole parlay hit of 7 players going off for double digits. At least not every night. So that's the thing. But anyways, did we put him up there? We did. Oh, we got to do let's just jump to Julius now. Julius Randle. We've already started talking about him. Julius had 24 points. He had 8 rebounds, 7 assists. All pretty standard stuff for him. He averages a LeBron basically. Which 24 points is not nothing, you know. Like I said at the beginning, it's his defense that's the problem tonight. His offense was okay. He was 50% from the field. He was 9 of 18. He was 0 of 5 from 3. He was 6 of 6 from the line. We did shoot a lot better from free throws today. No turnovers for Julius as well. 3 fouls, but the defense was just. And some of those fouls were really dumb too. They were like, "Oh man, why did we have to foul there?" Yeah, this was a bad game. I mean, I'm tempted to not go meh. I'm tempted to go old again, even though it doesn't make any sense because this is kind of like, what did everyone talk about Julius before he was on the Wolves was his body language, and it's like it's back. You know, I just don't like it. Old. Finch called Randall the most important player on the team. I mean, that's a nice way of saying, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's a nice way of saying when you suck, we suck. Kinda. It's kind of what he's saying. I don't know that he's necessarily saying because he's not saying he's the best, but it is important. Like if Julius has a good game, we likely had a good game. Like we actually like Julius's good games matching with the team's good games is probably a pretty high rate there. But I don't know. Makes me want to explode. He's not a happy clown, you mean? I don't know what you mean. Oh, he's reserved. I mean, he's reserved, but I don't know that that's what we're talking about with the bad body language. I'm okay. I'm not saying he needs to be out there screaming, but just like there's some pouting and some arguing. I get it. Players need to argue out on the floor, but I don't know. It's bad. I think we're going old. This is mainly because of the lack of a tier here. We're not gonna keep old as a tier. We're gonna keep it as like a cloud in heaven. That's perfect for old tier. But yeah, not a good game. Not a good game for Randall. Offensively, I mean, realistically, offensively, it was acceptable. Like if we're rating it on a scale of 10, like how was his offensive game? I mean, I'm not saying this for the meme. I promise it just happens to happen. 6.5. We'll do this. 6.5. I'm not going to say two numbers. Offensively, it was like a 6.5. Defensively, it was like a 2.5. Maybe 1.5. So yeah, he's old. Oh yeah, let's do Rudy. Kind of a weird one from Rudy. He had 12 points, 16 rebounds, 3 steals and 2 blocks. Also, super key steal at the end that I thought won us the game. And then he hit 2 free throws. It was honestly not a terrible game for him. He was 5 of 12 from the field. There were 2 plays, I think, where he had like a million rebounds in one. So he was just stat padding there. But that is not normal for him. He missed his other 2 free throws, though. Only 2 fouls. You know, this is another tough one because Zion was able to finish around and through Rudy so many times tonight, which is just shocking to me because Rudy is such a big person. Like, I don't know. Like, he's not so much like this big, bulky, like, gonna stop you kind of like a Shaq dominating center defensively, but he's like a smart, like, positioning and like makes you take bad angles. And Zion was just finishing around him. I really don't know that I blame Rudy too much for that tonight. I think he was okay. I think his stats look better than I remember the game, to be honest with you. But this obviously, I mean, he's learning this steal thing now where he gets it every single game where he's in a fast break somehow. I guess I'm fine with it. I would love it if he hit free throws because he gets fouled every single time. I don't know. I really feel like this was kind of like this is such a tough one. I don't know because I think multiple things are true. I don't necessarily think this was a great game for him. But I also I do think that there were some things where Zion was just finishing around him. I thought he played pretty engaged defense most of the night, but maybe it's just a bad matchup. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. I don't know where to put him. I'm really in between. Yeah, that's just because we're erasing everything. Yeah, to a degree, or at least maybe not erasing everything, but like literally causing them not to shoot. You know. Rudy was ass. Zion had 29 points. Yeah, but I don't know. The ones I'm remembering were not like, oh, Rudy was just like completely beat. There were a couple plays where Rudy got beat. I do remember that, but it was not the same as like, it wasn't like every single time Rudy was doing something stupid. I don't know. I really don't think it was that bad. We need a mixed bag category. I don't hate that. That's kind of an interesting one too. You guys are creative, insightful. Whoa. What a moment. Everybody, you were here. I think I'm going to go in the middle. I really don't know where to go because I don't feel strongly about him going super low like older Wancho. I don't really feel like it was that. But I also don't necessarily feel like I can go all the way up to like Clark or anything higher. It's certainly not like Cash or HSD. Clark would be the highest, but we can't put him at Clark. He gave up a lot, even if they were bad luck or just insane skill from Zion. It's meh. I think it's meh. We're gonna put him in meh. We're gonna have to start overlapping people. Okay. Oh, I didn't put Jaden up here. I knew I was missing somebody. Jaden was bad though. Honestly, I think I'm gonna put him in Wancho. It was not good. It was like pretty bad. This was an unforgettably bad game because it's like, oh man, if we would have had Giannis tonight, I know he's injured and he wouldn't have played even if we traded for him. Unfortunately, that is the lens it's an unfortunate thing. It is unfair lens to look at Jaden through. But I am going to just permanently now because Jaden's the whole sticking point. I am part of the problem too. I understand. I'm the one out there on Twitter being like, I'm going to be so sad if Jaden goes because I am. But from just a success standpoint, like I know that if we have Giannis, he is not going to be having games where he's fouled out with 22 minutes and only scores 6 points. You know, I get that you're not only trading Jaden, but like, unfortunately, that is the lens I am going to look at Jaden through now. And I'm sorry, Jaden, but I want you to be better. Anyways, I already talked about Jaden. I forgot to grade him. Anthony Edwards, last player tonight. He scored 35 points in 37 minutes, had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. Almost had a super sick block, but he did foul. Dane Moore says Rudy Gobert is as frustrated as he has been with the Wolves' effort tonight. Okay. Yeah, let's get some team meetings going into the All-Star break. I like that. But Ant tonight, 11 of 22, 5 of 9 from 3, 8 of 9 from the line, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul. Offense is not in question. I think the defense was slightly, again, the thing I feel like I need to put an asterisk on with Anthony Edwards every single time is I understand. He is generational. He is amazing. I love him. Every single day that Anthony Edwards is on my team, he is an A1 to me. It is unforgettable because I will never forget Anthony Edwards and how amazing he is. But when we're talking on a nightly basis, based on our expectations coming into tonight, this was an amazing offensive night. Maybe not amazing. A really, really good offensive night for him based on his own expectations coming in. Defensively, I think there was some body language issues for Ant too. If you watch, there were several times where there was even a time where we had like a fast break and Ant was like too slow because he was pouting. And then I think that might have been the time that Bones hit that 3. I don't know. It's just one of these moments where it's like he was very frustrated. And the thing I will give him a little credit for is that he's doing a little bit more coaching than he ever has out on the court. Where like tonight he was even calling out Jalen Clark at a point. He was calling out Julius Randle at a point, Rudy at a point. He is doing things that leaders do. So I understand that he can't be running around at the highest speed possible at all times. Like he's trying to coach players too. But defensively, I know. Again, if we're going to go off of what I did with Randall, like offensively for Ant, based on expectations, this is probably like an 8 or an 8.5. I mean, he almost even brought us back into the game at the end. Like we get under 5 minutes in the 4th, and Ant just says, "Okay, I'm not missing anymore." He did have 2 bad shots at the very end, or 1 or 2 bad shots at the very end of the game. Little forced, but like we're not calling those forced if they go in, because they have been going in for him and had gone in earlier. Like he's hitting always. He's doing fadeaways. He's doing step backs. He's doing all the stuff, So offensively, it's like an 8, 8.5 based on our expectations for Ant. And defensively, I mean, I think it's probably like a 5, maybe 4.5. I really do think, sure, he had a couple great blocks, but this was one of the games where if we even just go back 2 or 3 games to his post-game interview after I think Thunder game. I don't remember. Whatever game we played really good defense the entire time. Um, even he was like, "Yeah, if I lock in like this all the time, it sets a tone for the entire team." And, and it's like, "Yeah, okay, where was that tonight?" I don't know. And I don't know. Just frustrating. It's probably cash. I don't know. It's probably cash. I don't even know what you guys have said. I got to go back. Cash. Nice. So this was actually what I was just about to interrupt myself with, randomly interjecting. They showed that I don't have the stats in front of me, but the first half we were shooting really well from three, or at least better than the Pels were tonight. And then the second half, it was like with like a couple minutes left in the fourth, they showed it, and the Pelicans were like 10 of 20 or even better or something like that from three, and we were 3 of 15 from three. You know, just not good stats, and our shooting percentage in general in the second half was just bad. We just took the pedal, like, or we took our foot off the pedal. It's just what we did. And that does lead with Ant, but I don't know. This was still such a good offensive game for him, and he had multiple moments where it's just like, man, this is just incredible. Let's see. Anybody else? Ant can't do everything for everybody. Yeah, and that's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, and maybe you're talking to somebody in the chat, but it's just like, what are our expectations for Ant? We have ridiculously high expectations for Ant. I think it's cash. I think we can go cash. With the asterisk of, hey, I want that defense. But the thing is, and I know this is not an unpopular, this is an unpopular opinion on the tonight. But if we were talking about this in the off season, I don't think we would have as much of a problem with it. If I were to choose a night for Anthony Edwards, choose multiple nights for Anthony Edwards to not play his best defense, this 100% would have been one of the games that I chose to be like, hey, we're playing a team that has only won 13 games or whatever on the entire year. Please take that game off defensively and just try to win offensively. So I don't know. I think it's cash. I am sort of in between nice and cash, but I'm leaning more towards cash. So I'm not doing my normal go down for a loss, up for a win. I'm higher to cash. Cash is just good offense, has nothing to do with defense. So it's a little weird because it's not necessarily. By the way, one thing that this website just changed that I'm using, I think I can upload our own like stickers or at least more emojis or something now. So we could take Cash and Clark County completely off the tier list and just add other tiers and have like a sticker that we add to somebody that has that. So food for thought. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's your tier list. No Finch thing yet. Like I said, I've been sick. I haven't been able to do anything. But Rob Dillingham, everybody say goodbye. He is gone. He can no longer hurt us. Is this the thing that does it? Oh yeah, look at this. See, I can add extra things. Is this the heart? What does it do? Oh, that's not what I wanted. What is it that I was thinking? Get that thing out of there. There's something where it's like it puts like, oh no, not that. I don't know what we did. Some kind of a, is it this? Well, that looks crazy. It looks like I'm trying to burn him or something. I'm trying to like say goodbye. That's crazy. Oops, I have to get back to my normal thing. Anyways, Rob, you're gone. We're deleting you. Goodbye. It was a pleasure knowing you. Oh, you guys can't even see. Thank goodness. I'm glad you couldn't see that. We won't have you end in Wancho, but we will delete you. I'm so glad you guys couldn't see what I was doing. I was just like putting him on fire, basically. Goodbye, Rob. Good luck in Chicago. Honestly, for Rob, I really do wish him good luck in Chicago. It's just one of these things where the timeline wasn't right. We said that, and then I heard Finch say that the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, we are so validated now. Goodbye. And Mike is here still. Kind of. Sort of. Anticlimactic departure. Okay. That's your tier list. Since I still have a voice and wow, almost an hour show. That's incredible. But before we go, the one thing I did want to touch on was the Io DeSumo trade. Or at least that's how I'm viewing it. I'm not viewing it as anybody else. I don't really care about any other pieces in that trade. It just, Phillips is interesting. I'm not gonna deny. Like I've seen, like he apparently is like a good dunker, and apparently we had some interest in him coming into his draft or something like that. But no, and the Io trade, I think is a good one. And Chicago seems to be very mad that they are losing him. Seems kind of like a Nickeil Alexander-Walker-esque player to them. The thing I will say about this, though, is that I've seen a lot of people be like, even like national people, like I saw Zach Lowe say this. There was somebody else that I saw too say something, and I was like, you guys don't understand. So they're like, why didn't you just keep Nickeil Alexander-Walker instead of doing all this crazy stuff? There's multiple reasons here. One, if we were to sign Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the contract that he wanted, that he got, which we did, and we signed and traded him, but like if we kept him, we'd have been over the second apron, which would have been like the third or fourth year in a row of that. That would not have been sustainable. You lose draft picks. You can't trade draft picks. You can't do anything. We would have had no conversations about Giannis this year because it would have been impossible. So that's one thing. And trading for Io DeSumo, and the way that we traded Mike and had him traded again, and whatever that weird collusion situation is, that I'm sure was planned somehow. But all of that combined, that is we are now under the first apron, which gives us access to the mid-level exception, the biannual exception, and keeps us out of those things. It just gives us a lot of optionality going forward because we can make trades easier. Because when you're over the first apron and the second apron, there's weird rules about like how much money you can take back in trades, and when you're over the second apron, you can't like aggregate two players to get one player. It just gives you so much more optionality. So I think us as Timberwolves fans, we understood that that's how it was. But I just heard that and I felt like I had to say something because it drives me crazy. Also, I'd assume we can sign him next year to a long-term deal if we want to, and it's a good trial basis. I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty good thing. So yeah, I mean, and now when we go into this offseason, I also like it because you could argue the same for Na, but now if we do make a trade for Giannis, either we can use him as a piece of that in his re-signed contract. You could use him to re-sign him and keep him as an additional player on that team with Giannis or whoever you trade for, if that's something you do. There's a lot more options now. And with Rob Dillingham, like I just mentioned, I really do feel bad for Rob because I wanted it to work out for him, and we needed accelerated learning curve from him, which is unfair because he was a very young player coming in. He was under 21 for almost his entire time here. So we expected a lot out of him. He did not deliver. Finch didn't give him the time, but I think it's because we're just focused on winning. And of course, Leonard Miller, he's been here for a long time, but like that jumper was not really changing. And it was just garbage time minutes. I liked him. Good bench mob kind of a guy, but I'm excited for the move. I think it's a good move, and I'm excited to see him play here. I think he will be like a Nickeil Alexander-Walker for us. And I hope that he can really provide the bench with some defense and scoring and 3-point. I'm really excited to see him next to Ant. So we'll see. I think it's always a good thing. And exactly, Manimal. He fits Ant's timeline really well if they're able to re-sign him. I just, and something I thought about recently because this trade just happened like 2 days ago, but he's very similar to Jaden in a lot of ways where he's, they were showing some stats where like him and Jaden are shooting really well and defending really well, like two players that are playing like that. If you were to lose a Jaden McDaniels in a trade, I'm not saying Io DeSumo makes up for that defensively or even offensively. Well, he does make up for it offensively, but he is a player that you could slot in. Of course, he's also a guard too, not a forward, but he's a defender. You know, he's a defender you can throw in next to Ant. 3-point maker. He's 45% on the season. Also, last season, I've been trying to find a little bit more, but I think he's got pretty good clutch stats. I was watching his highlights the other day from 2024-25, and like all the highlights are in the clutch, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. But if Finch was GM, do you think Conley would be making the veteran maximum? Maybe. No, I actually, you know, jokes aside, I do think that like what I said earlier, I think it really is just that we don't have a point guard in this team, like a traditional point guard. And there's a lot of moments where even if it feels a lot worse, it might be just slightly better, but I don't know. I think it was a little bit more out of necessity, but he certainly does have some kind of weird thing for him. So what are you doing? You guys are going crazy. I was wondering. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Also, my thoughts cannot formulate that slowly. I like turtles. Also, I'm okay with the more comments, the better. The better engagement. I'll take it. Anyways, I think that's it for me today. I'm running out of juice as we speak, as I speak. All right, Timberwolves play Sunday. We have a ticket giveaway in the Discord. Shout out to 4th Generation Flooring for those tickets. Afternoon game. So make sure you join up. Those tickets will be drawn tomorrow. So go to the giveaways channel. They're there. That is our next game. It's an afternoon game, 2 p.m. And let's see what else. And then we play Monday, and that's Nickeil Alexander-Walker returns home. We are home until the All-Star break. And then we don't go on the road again until I go to Portland to watch the game. I am so excited. 4th Generation Flooring. Anyways, I think that's it. 52 wins is still possible. Timberwolves lose. Very sad. If you haven't already, like the stream, comment on the stream, and hopefully I won't have to have cough drops in my mouth the entire time I talk next time. All right. Good to see you all. I will see you all on Sunday. Intro is the outro. 52 wins is still possible. We'll see you soon.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the world championship.
Edwards